Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder with another Reddit story for you. This one comes from AITAH and is titled, I took a shower at midnight while my wife was watching TV. Who's the astronaut? My wife was sitting in the recliner watching her iPad right outside the kid's bedroom. I figure I'm in the clear to take a long shower. When I turn the shower off, I hear my 3-year-old crying and screaming for daddy. I hurry. As I'm going through the family room, I look at my wife sitting watching her iPad and say, "You couldn't calm him down?" She says, "No, I tried 3 times. I go into his room and pick him up. He immediately stops crying and starts trying to catch his breath. I feel like I thought were tears dripping down my shoulder. I think, poor guy's been upset for so long enough for my wife to come in 3 times. I lay him in bed and start tucking him in. He says, "I have a mess." I figure tears and snot. I grab wipes and tissue and turn the flashlight on my phone on. That's when I realized he was covered in blood. His first bloody nose, and it was bad, all over his face, arms, clothes, stuffy blanket, and I'm covered. Those were not tears dripping down my shoulder. I get him cleaned up and ask my wife to shout the bloody items while I get him cleaned up. I'm tucking him in and I asked why he didn't let mommy help. He said, "Mommy didn't check on me. Somebody never checked on me." No. Bish lied? Because she couldn't get off her freaking iPad to check on her screaming kid? Nope, this is not gonna go well. Now my wife is pissed at me for expecting her to help. I'm pissed at her for not taking care of our son while I'm in the shower and she's watching her iPad, and I'm pissed that she's pissed that I expected her to help. So, who's the astronaut? She is, brother. She is. Ascon Juan. That's, nope, not okay. I'm sorry. What? You couldn't look up from Bejeweled Blitz for 2 seconds, just like to pause the game and go help your child who's bleeding everywhere? This kid was screaming this whole time and she never got up. Opie took a long shower. After the shower, heard his kid screaming, and she said, "I tried to get him to calm down 3 times. What was her attempt at trying? Was it, "You're fine"? Never looked up. "You're fine. Go back to bed." Ah. Look, there are I have to remind myself, like, everybody's doing their best, right? There's got to be something wrong to make her feel like that's okay. If this is in the mental space that she's in and this is not who she typically is, something is wrong if you can let your child scream for 20 minutes plus and not give a damn. Even if you're in the toddler who cried wolf phase, right? Where you're used to getting called in there and nothing's wrong. So you've conditioned yourself to expect nothing to really be wrong. Even if you're there, if your kid has been crying for 20 minutes plus and you haven't lifted a finger to go check on them, you're a dick. You're an asshole. You're the worst. And then to lie about it to your spouse, you lied because you knew it was wrong. There was no other reason to lie about it. If you thought you were doing the right thing, you wouldn't have lied about it. Everybody's doing their best, but if her best right now is being deceitful and choosing not to care for her children, there's a problem. Something is wrong. She is chosen to be just an absolute worst of the worst asshole to both you, OP, and her family, and thinks that that's okay. Something is wrong. There needs to be counseling. There needs to be like the why part of this, you've got to dive into, OP. And now, if I'm in your position, I'm on high alert. Like, I'm afraid to leave the kids with her during the day when I have to work or do whatever. Like, it's trust is fractured here, if not completely broken. And how do you move on from that with the mother of your children? How do you move on from that with your partner? How do you move on from that with someone who caregives solo at least part of the time? Jen, yeah, that's straight up neglect. That's just, She was already an asshole for not doing it, for not going in there in the first place, but lying about it. If this were us, I would be like, look, this is not the woman. This is not the woman that I married. This is not the woman that I know. She needs help. As a parent, to sit there and be able to listen to your kid blood-curdling scream for 20 minutes. I don't care who or what you are. Something's wrong. If you can do that, something is wrong. Hatter dropping the $10 says, I understand enjoying a show or movie, but that's why they created pause buttons. If you can't put down the bloody things for a few minutes to check on your kids, why even become a parent? Truth. Like at some point, it's a package deal, you know? Yeah, they're cute when they're little babies and bundles of joy and everybody comes over and you know, swoons. But the hard work of being a parent is also part of the deal. It's part of the deal. Just imagining being OP in this scenario with a partner who something has changed and they're capable of doing this now and they think that this is okay now. That's got to be a really tough situation to try to navigate through, because you have to, whatever you do, you have to do for the best interest of your children, right? Number one, protect your children. Number two, try to get your spouse the help that they need so that they don't tank their entire life. Like it would be a very stressful time that had to be handled very, very delicately. And I would say, OP, I hope you have a support network. And if you do, now would be the time to pull them in and get everybody moving in the same direction, right? There has to be an intervention and there has to be everybody moving in the same direction toward a solution. There has to be solution focus here. It has to be. Now there is, like, as a parent, there's a point where you become so fried that like you just can't anymore. But even when you can't, you have to. And if you are to the point where you can't and you need your partner to handle everything, then it's a conversation with your partner to be like, hey, I got to check out for the rest of the night. I need you to handle this because I'm on my last nerve. Cool. Tag me in. Like that's part of the beauty of having a partnership there. And that's one of the reasons that like single parents I feel so much for, because you don't have somebody to jump in when you're fried. You don't have that person, but she did. He was in the shower.